Welcome to the P's and Q's podcast. I'm your host, Quinay Foray, and I'm living my best life. And I want to help you live your best life. On today's episode, I am so thrilled and honored to have a special guest in the studio with me virtually. Her name is Ebele Chizea. Hi,
Hello,
Ebele.
hi, Queenie.
So great to see you. What a love and what a light she is. Ebele was born in Nigeria, moved to the U.S. at 16 and started writing at the age of 9 years old. Wow.
Yes.
And she's published several books, including How to Slay in Life, a book of proverbial wisdom, which we all need. And her latest release, Aquarian Dawn, is her debut novel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at this cover. What a beautiful, beautiful book.
Thank
wow.
you. It's my baby.
Yeah. Before we get into digging deep with Ebele's story, let's do our fun facts. And today I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to give you some rapid fire, this or that, and you just tell me what it is. So, Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
All right. The beach or the mountains?
The beach.
Dogs or cats?
Cats. I love cats.
Bread or pasta?
Pasta.
Pasta. Broccoli or salad?
Broccoli.
Snickers
Broccoli. Yes.
or Twix?
Stickers.
Okay. Flying or train on a train ride?
Flying. I love to fly.
Flying.
Yeah.
And trying to think of another cool one. I just got those off the top of my head. Gold or silver?
Silver.
Silver.
Yeah.
Sweet. Tell us a bit about your debut novel.
Sure. So Aquarian Dawn is a coming-of-age story about a girl from West Africa who relocates to the United States with her mother back in the 1960s and encounters the civil rights movement, the counterculture, and is inspired by all the things that are going on in the US during that time. And she takes all the knowledge that she gets from it and goes back to her fictional African country and becomes an activist.
What inspired you to write this story? It is a fiction story.
Sure.
But most fiction stories are rooted in some reality. So
very true, very true. Well, back in the 60s, I had a number of relatives that were in the US during that time. They were very young. They were going to college. And I was always very fascinated by their experiences in the US during that time period. Because as we know, during the 60s and 70s, a lot was happening. A lot of movements. Young people were questioning authority. There was just so much going on. So I was very curious about what my relatives went through, what my dad went through, what my aunt went through during that time period. So that was really the beginning of the process of writing this fictional story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you talk to your relatives and get information from them?
I did definitely talk to my dad, especially, and got some information from him. And I did a lot of research and watched movies that were set during that time period. And I've always been drawn to the music as well. I love the music of the 60s and the 70s, the Temptations.
Yes.
The sounds of, it was just a different time, the Beatles. And I'm just an old school, old soul type of person. So it was a lot of fun doing that kind of research and going into that world and that time period and creating this fictional character, Ada, and just having her go through this journey. And it has love, it has romance, it has family dynamics, it has civil war, because Ada is from a fictional African country, and during that time, they're also experiencing civil war back then. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a great story. You guys make sure you put the link in the description to get your copy of Aquarian Dawn. I want to know more about your book, How to Slay in Life.
How to Slay in Life is basically a self-help book based on Nigerian proverbs. So I grew up in Nigeria. I'm from the Igbo tribe, IGBO. That's my tribe. Those are my people. Nice. And growing up, I grew up very familiar with the proverbs and the sayings and the wisdoms from the elders. So I had this idea to put it in the book in a way that people can relate to it in this generation and in this culture, and
Yeah.
make it like a fun how to slay, how to
That is,
navigate through life,
yes.
bringing the wisdom of the ancestors, but making it very relatable. So,
I love that. Can you give
yeah,
us an example of one of your favorite proverbs
my
from the book?
favorite proverbs. So, there's one that says that what a short person can see standing on something high, a
Mm-hmm.
tall person can see just looking up.
Oh,
So,
ooh,
yeah.
which is true.
So,
And
yeah.
what is the meaning of that one to
So
you?
the thing with, yeah, to me, right. So proverbs have different meanings for different people. It's all personal. So
Yes.
I see it like it's okay to get help. It's okay to get support. If you're short, quote unquote, if you have limited ideas or limited resources or limited whatever it is, it's okay to stand on something to get that support so you can reach your goals, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So
That's a good one. I think
yeah. So that's my
gives
interpretation of that one.
I love that. Thank you. I think it gives people the permission to be okay with not knowing everything and be okay with
Exactly.
asking
Asking. Exactly.
for help.
Exactly. Asking for help, doing your
Yep.
research, seeking knowledge, you know, accepting your limitations and, you
Yes.
know,
Tell me a little bit about how spirituality and higher consciousness plays a part in transforming ourselves in society. You know, me and you, these is our
hmm
favorite
this is our
topic.
favorite thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's extremely important. I feel like, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I feel like a lot of the root causes of problems in society is a lack of connection to self, which is our true self, right? Our true
Yeah.
self, which is connected to source energy, to God, to the creator. And that self is beautiful, it's wonderful, it's full of joy, it's abundance, it's
Yeah.
everything that is glorious, right? But when we
Yeah.
lose touch of that, we have the problems that we have today, right? In many parts of society, we have violence, we have disconnection, we have lack, we have
Mhm.
fear, we have anxiety. So I feel like it's so important for us as humans to remember who we are and to connect to that part of ourselves. It's
Yes.
very essential.
It is very essential. We talk
Yeah.
about that a lot here on the P's and Q's podcast,
hmm
remembering who we are and honoring that space as we walk through this human experience. What advice would you give to someone who's experiencing that dense level of energy and maybe needs to rekindle their connection with their truest selves? What would you tell them to do?
Well, I can only speak for me, what works for me, and people that I know. Everyone's
Yes.
different. I find that spending time in nature works for me. I love water, so I love going to the ocean or going by a river or lake. And even
Yeah.
when I don't have access to the water, I just try to soak myself in a tub, in the bathtub, and
Mm-hmm.
just relax in that. I'm going to go a little bit deep here, if you don't mind, because
Oh, honey, this is where we live. Let's
let's
go.
dive deep, right? Let's dive
Let's
in.
go.
So, because we all come from like the womb, and in the womb, it's like it's water, right? So
Yes.
I feel like that's our place of safety and comfort. So for me, connecting to water is very important. Drinking water. I mean, not to be extra or anything, but I have a bottle of water next to me right now. I try to drink a lot of water, and that helps me to stay
Yeah.
connected, attuned spiritually. And of course, in the meditation, I do my prayers, affirmations, and things like that. So it's different for everyone.
I think those are great foundational principles, though. We talk about this all the time here, going
hmm
into nature. Literally listening to you was
Yeah.
like, oh, literally going
Yeah.
into
It's
nature,
essential. Oh my God.
critical.
Because it's so
I
noisy out there. Yeah, go ahead.
right.
Yes.
We need to
Yeah.
silence the noise
Yes.
to be able to really clearly
hmm
connect with our truest selves. the ocean for me is a big place for that. And it's so interesting you said that, because I literally say that it's like the womb. It's like
Yeah.
the womb
Mm-hmm.
of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my place I go for healing when I
Yeah.
feel like, those dense energies creeping into me.
Mm.
That's where my soul calls me to go.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Wow.
And in my novel, the main character, Ada, she goes to the water sources as well for to
Does
meditate and
she?
reflect. A lot of water themes in this novel. It was nice to explore that, the importance of
Yeah.
nature, not just water, but just nature in general. She communicates with nature. Nature communicates with her. I mean, it's a very deep story.
Oh, I love this. So she
I really
allows
go into it. Yeah, it was fun
all
writing
her
it. So
guides to lead her.
yes, yes, and that's what makes her a very interesting character, a very dynamic character in the novel, and a very powerful woman. By the end of the novel, she becomes who she's meant to be.
Mm.
Yeah. So. Hmm.
Oh, wow. And as a writer, you're pulling from different parts of your life. She sounds like she's like a lot like you.
Well, there are similarities, but the storyline is definitely like her journey is not my journey. I wish. I mean, Ada's life is like, in the story, she goes through a lot, like good and bad, but she has a lot of adventure. And my life is not like that. I'm a pretty simple person. I'm a homebody. But with that being said, there are definitely aspects of my personality in the character. Because that's normal. When you write, you pull from within you pull from your experiences. So it's a normal thing that writers experience for sure. But it's
For
not
sure.
autobiographical at all. It's definitely a fictional character, a fictional story. There are some similarities, but I'm not Ada, and Ada is not me.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just
Now
put it
we
out
know.
there.
I love
Yeah.
that. So, for
Hmm.
anybody listening who is a writer, obviously we hear a lot about what writers go through as you guys pull from all of these places within yourselves to give us these beautiful works of art and the challenges along the way. How do you get yourself out of writer's block, or whatever that word is that you'd use to describe when you run into a challenge as you're trying to birth this story?
Honestly, I don't pressure myself.
Yeah.
When I experience that writer's block, I just take it as a sign to stop what I'm doing and do something else. And
Mm.
I think a lot of times we pressure ourselves. And when you put all this pressure on yourself, that's when you have the anxiety and that's when you feel the blockages. So
Yes.
sometimes when I'm writing, I stop and I feel like, okay, I don't know what else to say. And I just respect that and I keep my laptop away and I do something else. So fortunately for me, I'm a multifaceted artist. So I also crochet. I make bikinis. I have a bikini line. I make jewelry. So I do other forms of art to keep
Yeah.
me occupied. Or I
Oh,
read a novel, I read a book, And then when the inspiration comes again, I get back to my writing.
you'll be ready for
Um,
it.
yeah, yeah. I don't believe that the path of writing should be stressful. That's just me. I don't believe that I should have to release 10 books in 1 year. No. It could take 10 years to write one book. I've seen that happen. And that's okay. That's the process for you as the writer, as the artist. I don't go by conventional thinking when it comes to that. And I think that's made me a lot more relaxed with the process. And, you know, I feel more
Yeah,
inspired in the process.
I love that. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good life lesson, not even just for writers, just for people
Yeah.
in general, to give themselves that grace.
Yeah, I used to be hard on myself. I used to feel like, oh man, I need to get this done by in 3 months, in 6 months. Oh my gosh. And I past couple of years I learned to just girl, just let it go.
There we go.
Yes, take
I
it one day at a
love that.
time. Yeah. Why
I
not?
love
Life is too
that.
short.
Yeah, to create additional worry and stress.
Exactly. And
But
for me, I like how you've mentioned in the past too. about art and spirituality, creativity, and
Yeah.
its connection to spirituality. And for me,
Yeah.
writing is such a spiritual process as well that
Yes.
any blockage I'm feeling, I pay attention to it. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense? I'm not just writing just to write. It's a mission for me. It's a calling for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I listen to my body, my mind, what's going on within me. I pay attention to what I'm putting out there in the universe. So I take it very seriously. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
yeah,
You're
it's
very intentional.
intentional. Thank you. I'm very intentional with it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And it
so
comes
there's no
through on all
pressure.
the pages, all that love and energy and intention
Yeah.
straight into the book. You guys
Hmm.
definitely got to make sure you get this book. I just love your energy so
Thank
much.
you
Your
so
beautiful
much.
smile, you guys. She's just beaming with light. I feel it. I am vibrating from it. So
Oh,
I
likewise.
just want
Thank
to
you.
thank you, Ebele, for coming here to
Thank you
talk to
so
us on
much.
PJ's podcast.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. It's wonderful. And I pray it just gets better and better and reaches the whole world.
Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Can
You're
you tell
welcome.
the people where they can connect with you?
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram, EBY Creations_. And you can also find me on Instagram, like my bikini line, EBY Creations with a Z. And on Facebook, EBY Creations. TikTok, EBY Creations. Twitter, same thing, EBY Creations.
Yes,
Yeah. Yep.
perfect. And I'll put the links in the description below as well. Please, you all, make sure you go and connect. Make a beautiful connection. Support. Get this book. It's incredible.
Thank
Woo!
you. And it's
Already.
also been nominated. Well, actually, it's a finalist for the Forward Books Indie Books Award. The
Oh
Forward
my
Indie Books
goodness!
Award. So it's a finalist. So it's so exciting.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you.
That's so
So
exciting.
it's wonderful. Yes. I'm so happy
You
about
deserve
that.
it.
Thank you so
You
much.
really deserve it.
Thank
And
you.
for all of you out there, you know I love you. Q loves you so much. I appreciate you all for tuning in and being here. And we will catch up next week.